Okay, we're going to get started.
Whoops. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Oh, Christine from Texas.
All right, Christine from Texas.
Ben Brandt from New Mexico.
Everyone press star 6 to mute yourselves or we won't be able to hear the call. Star 6.
Star 6.
Everyone, star 6. Richard from the Republic.
How are you?
Alan Newman, Ventura, California.
Hey, we're just about there, Terry.
That's fine.
Sherelle Winston.
Okay, Carrie.
Yes, sir.
I got one more here. Did I mute you out, Terry?
No, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I see you now.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like to start? Does Dwayne Williams want to say anything tonight? If you do, hit star 6, unmute yourself. I don't guess you know, Terry.
All right. Well, we're going to get started. Apparently, people are starting to hear what we're doing here in Texas. What we started doing is taking the argument instead of being on defense where we were on offense. I have a 2-step plan. If you'll do both steps, you'll really, really release yourself from their grip. One is we're going to the tax court, and the tax court is giving us a motion for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction that the IRS asked for. Then we call them and get a certified copy. We're going to go over how to get that. The other thing that I'm asking you to try, write a letter to the United States District Court in Washington, D.C., asking them, you got to understand, they're a court of limited jurisdiction. Write a letter. If you go on their website, it gives you their address and it gives you all the judges there. Pick a judge and mail him a letter saying, hey,
Michael.
You're a judge. Hey, Michael, you're a court of limited jurisdiction. Does your jurisdiction cover the Internal Revenue Service? That's all it has to say, and mail it to the Washington, D.C. court. It might take 9 or 10 letters because they're going to come back and say they don't give legal advice. They're going to come back and say all kinds of crazy stuff. But eventually they'll tell you they don't have it. If the IRS comes after you, the CID, they're going to that's the Criminal Investigation Division. They're going to take you to the United States District Court. If you have a letter from a judge that says they don't have jurisdiction, believe me, when you're on your way there, you'll be glad you have it. The other thing we're doing is we're going through to the United States Tax Court. We're telling the tax court we never received a notice of deficiency and we never received a notice of determination. And we put down the years we want, 2000 to 2017, 1997 to 2017. And what's happening is coming back.
Ray Newman.
Hey, all right. They're coming back and they're telling us they don't have jurisdiction. And what that does is any liens or levies you have, you now have a court order that you can use to clear that up. If they're taking your Social Security, they're taking your retirement. You have a letter or you have a court order now to help clear that up. Is Dwayne Williams on here?
He came in a while ago.
Yes, if he is, hit *6. Okay. Anyway, he may have dropped off. That's possible. And
I'm on, Terry.
Okay. Do you want to share your experience with it?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I received a couple of letters, and I followed the plan of your two-step rule also, and I sent one letter in, and I got a call back from the court saying that they were going to throw my case out for lack of jurisdiction. Did I object? And I said, no, I did not. A few days later, another lady called me from a different point, the tax court, saying that my case was going to be extended because the person that was over my case was out of sync. This was during the hurricane, during that time. In the meantime, the guy that called me originally telling me that my case was going to be thrown out for lack of jurisdiction called me back again and asked me, did I have any objections to throwing my case out for lack of jurisdiction? I said no. A few days later, I received a letter from the tax court saying, your case was dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. In the meantime, I wrote a letter to the United States Tax Court asking for a certified copy of this order of dismissal from the tax court. I received a signed letter from the judge and a certified copy from the clerk there stating that this was a certified copy from the tax court. I took that letter and put it with the letter that I had received from the IRS telling me that they were taking my money from...
Hello, this is Narveen from the Illinois Assembly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Okay, I took that letter, certified letter from the tax court, and I made copies of it. But I also had 6 certified letters. I took one letter and sent it to the IRS. The other one I sent to the Social Security Department and telling them that they did not have jurisdiction. A few days later, I got 2 release of levies. One was from the Social Security Department. The other one was from the IRS. The IRS said release of levy, release of property from levy. The one from the Social Security said the same thing, release of levy, release of property from levy. A few days later, I received another letter, one from the Mid-America program in Kansas City, Missouri from Social Security. He said, we are writing you about your Social Security benefits. What you should know. As you requested on or about October 4, 2017, we changed your direct deposit information. We will send your Social Security payment to your new financial institution account. Your benefits should arrive on or before the 4th of next month, 4th of October. They did. My payments arrived, and they said that they would From now on, all payments would go to this account on or about the 3rd or the 4th of each month. In the meantime, I didn't receive a letter from the IRS, but I received a letter later on stating that my pension was being reinstated to the full amount. It didn't say anything about the back pay of my pension. It just said that my pension was being reinstated. So now I get a check every month on or about the 4th from Social Security and on the 31st of each month for my pension. So I went from $508.33 for Social Security for my pension for 9 years and $0 to over $2,200 on my Social Security for 39 months. I haven't received any back pay yet, but I am getting my check currently for the month that I've already received, November, December, and January. That's where I stand now.
So he went from $500 a month to his full pay just by going to the tax court, and all it cost him was a piece of paper and a stamp. So all of these systems that we're doing, we're trying to do it is simply as simplified as we can. And there's also a couple of statutes that I came across that says that anything that the tax court says, once they sign it, it's final and binding. So after you get your certified copies, if you'll call Ed, email Ed, he has it, he'll send them to you. That way you can use that as another piece of evidence that what they did was incorrect. What we've done in the past is would tell them that I'm a living, breathing soul. I'm whatever. It has nothing to do with you, and it has nothing to do. I've heard people come in tonight saying I'm here from the Republic of. That none of that matters. I know that people don't believe that, but it's not about you. If you have an indictment or you have a levy, the levy has to be correct, and that's what we're doing. We're going to the tax court and correcting it. Once you get there, they don't have jurisdiction, and the reason they don't have jurisdiction is the IRS is not incorporated under the United States. It's incorporated under the IMF. So that's how they get away with what they get away with, because we're telling them that we're a whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you are. And the reason I say that, because if you buy a Toyota, you almost have a Lexus, but you don't have a Lexus. So when you're telling them I'm a living, breathing soul, they don't care, because they're all they want is the money. And see, there's not even any money. So instead of telling them that you're almost a Lexus, go get your court order and then send it to them, and that will stop the levy, and that will stop them from taking your retirement. And you have to. They're not just going to do it. You have to work to get it, but it's worth the work. Now, we've probably had close to, Ed, would you say 100 now?
On this call?
No, I mean that has done this process.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, huh?
We got 106 on this call.
Okay, but we've had about 100. We've had over 100 do the process, and most of them have already started to see movement. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you the tools you need to get what's rightfully yours.
Sir, can I ask a quick question, or do we have to wait for questions?
If you want to ask a quick question, you can ask it, but we won't answer it. No. Go right ahead and ask the question.
Well, you're talking about tax court, but if you have a citation for a property violation in the statute that doesn't exist and you've become a sovereign, what court would you go to ask for that paperwork that you're talking about?
Now, do you understand what a sovereign is?
Correct.
All right, tell me what a sovereign is.
Well, you've reclaimed your name and you've made
a sovereign.
No.
A sovereign is a king.
Correct. But I was talking about being like an American national.
Okay, that's a big difference. That's the problem we have. You're going to the court and you're saying, I'm a sovereign. A sovereign doesn't have to tell you he's a sovereign because they already know it.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't go to the court and say I was a sovereign. But I was just asking on your two-step process, if it isn't tax-related, what court would you go to prove the lack of jurisdiction so you could go back in and get your case dismissed?
You would ask them. If you ask the judge, does he have jurisdiction, he's going to tell you yes. Then you ask him to prove it. He has to prove it. There's a lot of case law that says he has to prove it. If he says he doesn't have to, that's fine. Let him throw the book at you, then appeal. Because when you appeal the appellate court, they won't take it. We've had several cases that we've appealed. When we got to the appellate court says, I'm not taking the case because we don't have jurisdiction because the lower court didn't have it. So if the lower court doesn't have it, when you appeal it, you're going to appeal it to the wrong court. So I challenge jurisdiction on everything. I don't care what it is. I just challenge jurisdiction on everything. But you have an issue that not everybody has, but pretty much everybody has an IRS issue. So, your issue, if you want to get with Ed, he'll give you my number. You can call me, and I'll try to help you with a particular issue. But
that would be excellent, and I'll mute myself. But that would be excellent. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and that'll be fine. But the main issue almost everybody has is the IRS is either leaning them, they're taking their money, they've just taken their Social Security, they're taking their retirement. You work your whole life and you're at the age now you're ready to quit work, but you got to work more because they're taking everything. We have a process to stop that. And this isn't our process. This is their process. And what we're doing is we're just trying to help you get your certified letter, because once you get your court order, I said letter, but it's a court order. Once you get a court order, if you had to sue them or if you have to go to court with them, it's no longer a matter of tax. It's a matter of contempt of court. You have a court order saying the IRS can't do X, and they're doing X. It's no longer about taxes. It's about contempt of court. So what that does is that gives you a lot stronger position. If for those of you that have state income taxes, I'm working with several people that has a state income tax. Again, you can't just go in and tell them anything. I'm going to make a suggestion. Write a letter to your state revenue, whoever they are. Dear state revenue, how do I know how to fill out the tax return? If you look at your book, the 1040 Ohio book or whatever it is, it'll tell you there that all taxes are based on federal. The best thing to do is write them a letter asking them to clarify you're not clear on how to fill out your taxes. How do you know how to pay them? They're going to tell you. You do the same thing with the federal. Once they give you that, you see, you're asking them. You never tell them. Now you have a letter from a person that has to know when you get your document from the court that says you don't have to pay federal taxes because there's no jurisdiction. Now you go in and say that, how do I do it? And you give them the letter that says you send the letter, a copy of the letter they sent you that says you do what the federal says. Then you send them the federal.
Our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians.
Letter or the federal document that says you don't have to file. So now how do I file? And then do a fault and then a default. And then get your attorney general involved. Say, I'm trying my best to do this. Here's what they said. Let's say it's Ohio. Ohio State Revenue said that I have to pay because of the Fed. No. The Fed say I don't have to pay. How do I pay? Now you've got an argument that you can win. Where the problem is, you go in and you say, I don't have to file because, and then you're telling them all the reasons you don't have to, because you're a living, breathing man, and it doesn't say that in the book. What you're doing is you ask them, how do I pay? They'll tell you. Man, they can hardly wait to tell you. Do what the federal says. Now you have what the federal says. Now they got a problem. See, and I would get started on it now because April 15th is coming pretty fast. You've got 2 more months, 3 more months, and you'll get your letters by then. So send a letter to the United States District Court asking them if they have their limited jurisdiction. Does your limited jurisdiction include the Internal Revenue Service? And just keep it going. If it takes 10 letters, it takes 10 letters. It doesn't matter. Because once you get it, they can't put you in jail because they don't have jurisdiction. Write a letter if you're in a state that has to do a state income tax, asking the state people, whoever they are, the state revenue, how do I know how to fill out the tax return? They're going to tell you. You do what the feds say. Well, now you got the thing from the feds saying that they don't have jurisdiction on you. Once you get your jurisdiction document from the court, I went ahead and took that and put it in an envelope, and I wrote a letter to the IRS asking the IRS, can you send me a 2358C letter because I don't have to file a tax return? And I showed them my certified copy from the court, and they sent me a letter that says I am not legally required to file a tax return. That came from the IRS, signed by an agent. So once you get that, now you can take that letter and send it with your package to the state. After the state tells you, you do what the feds say. Now you have a letter that has your name on it that says you're not required to file. Now, does that make any sense at all? Okay. By your silence, I will.
Can I ask a question, or do you have a process to raise your hand?
You go ahead, ask your question.
How is that, Richard?
This is the first time I've been on.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so this is the first time I've been on, so I don't know your process, but I am very curious about, are you saying your 2-step process is simply, 1, write the U.S. District Court, 2, write the state? Is that what you're saying it's about?
No, you write the federal, okay. Have you ever been involved with the CID?
Not involved, but I've written them in the past, many, many years back.
Okay, and they're going to tell you anything they want to tell you. If the CID comes after you, they're going to take you to the United States District Court to have you prosecuted and have you put in jail. That's their process. If you write a letter to the United States District Court and say, United States District Court, dear court, you're a court of limited jurisdiction. Does that limited jurisdiction cover the Internal Revenue Service?
Okay.
Sign your name and send it. They're not going to tell you. They're going to beat around the bush. So then you just keep asking them until they say, no, it doesn't include the IRS. Now,
Okay.
when the CID comes after you, you've protected yourself. You're not going to go to jail because they don't have jurisdiction. The process that we do is we download the forms off of the tax court. We fill them in properly, mail it to the tax court. The tax court then notifies the IRS, asking them the question that you're going to ask, that we're going to show you how to fill out the form. The Internal Revenue Service is going to come back and say, we don't have jurisdiction. Then the court is going to say, because the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction, the court doesn't have jurisdiction, therefore, we're going to dismiss your case for lack of jurisdiction. Now you have anything that the IRS says they don't have it, and the United States District Court says they don't have it. Then, if you will write a letter to your state, the revenue somewhere is usually in the capital. In Michigan, it would be Lansing. In California,
yeah, we know that.
Okay, so you would write a letter there, say, dear state treasury, whatever they are, I have a question. I'm having a problem understanding how do I do my state income taxes. They're going to come back and say, well, in the book on page 1, whatever, you use the same thing as the Fed. You had to write back, I need a more clarified statement. Are you saying if whatever I fill out on the Feds, I fill out on the state? They're going to say yes. Now you have a document from the IRS that says you're not liable, you're not capable. Okay, now what are they? Tell me, what is the state going to do now? See,
they're going to,
they're going to wet themselves. Is what they're going to do.
What about if you've been one of those people who have paid them for many, many years, but you've really finally woke up? Then we just do this process as if now we're just needing confirmation letters so that we have our ammunition when they come at us.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get you. If you paid your money, okay, let me ask you a question. Does anybody here know what the definition of income taxes are? What do you think they are? Or
it's not labor. It's not labor, but I don't know the definition.
Okay, I'm going to tell you where it's at. It's defined in black and white. The Title 31, that's the Treasury or Money and Finance, Section 321.
I'm Dr.
B
Thomas
as in dog,
Hi.
2. Say that again.
I'm Dr. Thomas Lee. Hello.
Okay. Good to have you. So now, Title 31, Section 321, D2 says income defined, and then it defines it for you. It's nothing you think it is. It's nothing you think it is. That's why they don't have jurisdiction. It tells you right there. Okay, now.
Is it Title 31, Section D, 321, Section D as in dog, 2?
No, it's Title 31, Section 321, D2.
Is it D as in dog?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And it will define it for you. Now, knowing that, you don't have to bring that up. You don't tell them that. Let them tell you it's something else. That just strengthens your case. So if you go to the feds and the feds say you do not have to file, when you go to the state says you have to file, but you have to file what the feds say. Now, what you got? We're trying to put them in a conundrum.
Yes.
Okay, and that I'm not going to guarantee you that because I live in Texas. Texas doesn't have a state income tax.
Right. That's why I left California and went to Texas.
Right, but for those of you that have state income taxes, the state can be more brutal than the Fed.
They are.
So,
can I ask another question about them leaning my property? I still have a condominium in California, and there's been a federal tax lien on it for probably 5 years, and I've tried to get it removed, and they won't back down.
Okay, now when you go to the federal tax, when you go to the United States Tax Court, they're going to give you a document that says the IRS does not have jurisdiction.
Okay.
I promise you they're going to back down. They're going to back down, because if they don't, whoever has it on there, Ed will send it to you, or I'll send it to you where it says the tax court's ruling is final. So you have a tax court ruling that says they don't have jurisdiction, and they put a lien on your property. Someone's going to write a check. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Now,
because this is actually stopping us from selling that property.
And of course, it's just a notice.
And we know it's just a notice, and we know we've never had due process, all this garbage.
Right. It doesn't matter if you have due process or not. And the reason it doesn't matter, because you're not in the right court. Now,
okay.
I'm going to say something here, and I hope it does not offend you. But let me explain it to you this way. You being a woman, you have the same tools that a prostitute has. So, does that make you one?
No.
See? That's what we're doing. We're going to the court with the wrong tools. They're assuming, because we brought the tools there, that we're that. That's why I never tell them anything. I ask. The only thing I ever do is I ask. See? I ask.
Yeah. Right.
How do I do this? Well, you do it this way. No problem. Now, I went to the feds. How do I do this? They tell me. Now the two clash. See,
okay.
clash.
How often do you send your letters to the district court?
Okay. It might take 25 letters.
I know, but how often?
Once a month. Well, once you get it once, if they don't have jurisdiction, why would you need to ever do it again?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, sometimes you don't hear from these people for 6 to 8 weeks. Do you just fire one off every month?
I do. Fire off another one. I mean,
okay.
You'll hear from them. You don't send them to the court. Go on the court's website, and there's, 6 judges. Pick a judge. Don't send it to the judge each time, because send it to the judge, and you say, "Dear Judge Frank," whatever his name is.
Okay.
And just tell him you're a court of limited jurisdiction. Does that jurisdiction include the Internal Revenue Service? And mail it to him.
Okay.
And
well, I'm gonna be back on this phone call, because I'm gonna do this. And my husband and I both should do it, right? Because they've been attacking us for a long time.
Okay. Now, I live in Texas. We're a community property state. But I did my wife. She has her separate. And the reason she has her separate is, in Texas, it doesn't matter. I just did it that way. So, I would say, if you're going to do it, get one for you and get one for him. That way,
I agree.
That way, if you have to ask the question, then that's what I would do.
Okay.
And that way you don't commingle that.
Okay. So my name is Cindy, and my husband is Ron, and I'm going to do what you're talking about, and I'm going to get back on here when I have my success, because I've been dealing with this. We both have been dealing with it for several years, and we're pretty fed up with it, but we're not backing down.
Okay. And see, okay.
And I answer something, Mr. Monk?
Yeah.
Can I get that phone number from you? Because I got to get off the call, and I wanted to talk to you another time.
What phone number?
You wanted me to get a phone number from Tom to call you on our issue about jurisdiction on not taxes, because you're talking about taxes.
When you got whoever told you to get here, Ed's got his email address on there. I don't want to give it out.
Oh, I understand that. I got it off of I'm a fiduciary for Judge Anna von Rice, so I got it off her website.
Okay.
So
Ed has his email there. So email Ed. Ed will give you my number.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
If I don't recognize the number, I won't answer it. Leave me a message, and I will call you back.
I'll leave you a message. This is Sherelle Winston. Okay, and I work for and with Anna Judge Anna. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
And we'll get you fixed. No problem.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. Bye-bye.
One more question for you.
Yeah. What is your name, sir?
in Missouri.
Oh,
can you hear me?
okay.
I can hear you.
The gentleman that I've been speaking with, what is your name?
Terry.
Oh, no, the gentleman that I've been speaking with, this is Cindy, about this issue with the IRS. I don't know your name. It's the first time I've been on this call.
Terry.
Oh, it's Terry.
Terry?
No, is it Terry?
Terry.
You know the Terry. You know? Do you know the actor Terry Grant?
Terry Grant. Gotcha.
Okay. My first name is the same. Terry.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
But all you have to do is email Ed, and Ed will give you my number. And
okay, great, Terry.
Okay, it's no problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. Hung, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, are we talking about filing with the IRS and owing them money, or are we talking about a situation where you don't file at all, which is something that I did last year, or I didn't do. I didn't file. I was just damn tired of them spending my money on abortion.
That's fine. If you don't file, you can do this. If you file, you can do this. If you have a lien, you can do this. If you don't have a lien, you can do this. What this is going to tell you is the IRS does not have jurisdiction. So if you get a letter in the mail and it says you didn't file, take their letter, put it in an envelope, take your court order, put it in an envelope, and mail it back. You're done. You're done. Because all tax court orders are final and binding.
Okay, well they have taken it out of my Social Security, and rather to fight them, I allowed when I didn't complain about it. That was for a couple of years ago, and now I just seen my last notice on my Social Security benefit statement for last year, and they took another $460 out of my current statement tax levy.
Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to take the court order, send it to the.
I don't have a court order.
Okay, then what are you on the court? Why are you here?
I'm sorry.
Why are you here then? You're going to.
I'm trying to get information on IRS.
That's it. You're going to go to the tax court and get a court order. Now you have.
Well, let me get this straight as to who I get in touch with. United States Court of Jurisdiction, is that who I'm talking to?
No, sir. You're going to get a hold of the United States Tax Court. If you have
United States Tax Court.
If you have a tax issue, why would you go anywhere else?
Okay. So we're going to the United States Tax Court in Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir.
If you'll send me an email, I'll send you some samples. Okay. What's your email address, sir? Ed Branham, did you get a notice to get on this call? Yes, sir. My name's on there. My email's on there. Ed Branham? Yeah.
Yes, it's on the email or the text or the email or the.
Well, it isn't on mine. My notification is from Anna von Ritz. Oh, okay. Let me give you my email. Okay. R-E-P. I'm sorry, E-E.
No, R-E-P.
R-E-P. Short. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do it again, please. R-E-P. R-E-P? Yeah. T-X. Texas. T-X? Yeah. T-X. 777 at att.net. Okay, that's REPTX 777 at att.net. That's correct. And your name is Ed Brennan? Yes, sir. B-R-E-A-N-N-U-M. I'm sorry. B-R-E-N-N? B-R-A-N-N. BRANNUM. Brenham.
Yeah,
Ed Brenham.
there you go.
That it, sir?
Yes.
Thank you kindly. God bless you.
He will send you the document exactly how to fill them out. Do not vary.
Okay.
Before you send them in, because our biggest problem we have is somebody makes a changes something. This has gone through every time except when they make a mistake. So before you send it in, get a hold of Ed or get a hold of me, and we'll make sure you got it. But he's got an example of it. He'll send it to you, and then you just sign it and send it in. And then just
all right. I'll send you an email when I'm done here this evening. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Okay. Thank you for being on the call. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for all your help. God bless.
Hey, tell them not to pay $60.
Yes, but do not pay the $60. Okay. They ask you for the $60. Don't pay it. I can't stress that enough. Don't pay it. Don't pay it. Now, before we get off of here, we've been on here almost an hour. Does anybody have a question that they would like to ask?
Just a comment.
Yes, go right ahead.
You might want to remind everybody that it is recorded.
Yes, thank you. This is recorded, and if you miss something, you can go back and call and put in. It's recorded, and you can get back and hear it, and go back and hear it again. Yes. And I recognize that
the recording has started.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Ed, did you forget to turn it on?
Yeah.
This one wasn't recorded. Anyway, that guy that made that comment, where are you from?
Which one?
The man that said this was recorded. Who was the guy that said that? Where's he from?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I thought I recognized. Well, before we go, does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
All right, go right ahead.
Are these letters that I'm going to send every month or whatever and just pound them, are they certified or just regular?
Yes, whatever you feel the most comfortable with. I would just do regular. Now, every month. When you send it to them, they're going to contact you. They'll write you back. Give them 3 or 4 weeks, send it again.
Okay.
Send it again.
Okay.
Then when they start contacting you, they're going to say, "We don't give legal advice. Get an attorney." Then you tell them, "I got an attorney." The attorney doesn't know the answer. He can't figure it out. Do you have jurisdiction? See, you just ask them.
Gotcha.
They will tell you. Once they tell you, that is going to help protect you. It's going to protect you from them.
Excellent. And then once I have that, I'm going, or at the same time, am I mailing to the city?
I would do all at the same time. That way, they'll tell you. If you get the city one, if you get your account, if you get your state one first, hang on to it. Then when you get your one from the feds, send it back. Then you send it back. And say, well, what do I do? Look what I got. See?
Okay.
In other words, they're not going to come at the same time. But do your homework up front. Muhammad Ali was a good boxer because he trained all the time. He trained. You don't wait till the day of the fight and then start running. You run. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're trying to get you trained so that when you get in the ring with them, you're in better shape than them, and you understand it. And you're going to win. This is you're going to win.
Okay, very good. My husband has a question.
I was wondering if this process could affectionately call the Texas two-step process.
Yeah, I guess you could. I guess you could. But
I like it.
Yeah.
Hey, I looked up Title 321 D-2. You're right. That's the description or what they define as income is something. Right. So I understand. Okay. Good.
Something you never dreamed. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Let them look it up. You look it up and you won't get it. All right. Well, thank you.
Please read that. Could you please repeat what you send to the U.S. Tax Court?
Yes, go on. Okay, you're going to go on there. You're going to go on the United States Tax Court's website. You're going to go to Forms, and you're going to look on Forms, and there's a petition modified form. You download it. It's 5 pages. The first page you throw away. You don't need it. They're giving you instructions how to fill it out. That's incorrect. You do not fill it out that way. That's how they want you to fill it out. I fill it out differently. So once you fill it out, you mail it to them and let it go. It takes about 6 weeks, and the court will send you an order in the mail telling you that they don't have jurisdiction. Call back to the court. Say, I want some certified copies. The certified copies will have the wet ink signature of the judge. That's why it's so powerful. You're going to have an order. Okay, the guy that asked me that, are you in front of your computer right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, type this in. Type in U.S. Tax Court.
Got it? U.S. Tax Court.
Docket inquiry. Docket inquiry.
Okay. Oh, shit. USTaxCourt.gov.
All right. Either way, that's fine. USTaxCourt.gov. And then put in, go to the docket inquiry, and then it's going to say individual name, company name, docket number. Click individual name. I'm going to give you a name, and you'll see what they come back with. This is what the orders look like.
Is this also effective in a case that's already been adjudicated in tax court?
Well, if it's already been adjudicated, I don't know. If it's already been adjudicated, why would you need it? Unless they said you owed something, and then you go back, and now you got a controversy. You can go back and appeal.
Yes, because the latter is true.
Okay, then you can go, yes, of course. Then you got one that says they don't have jurisdiction. How can you have the same court give you 2 different rulings?
Pardon?
How do you get 2 different rulings from the same court?
If you already have a petition in place, will this apply in that situation?
If you have a petition in place, unless you did it this way, I don't know. People go in the other way. I'm showing you how I do it, and I'm telling you what we come back with. I'm going to show you. The guy that's looking it up, did you find the docket sheet?
Okay, no. Right now my computer will not open U.S. Tax Court in any either of my browsers.
All right.
The government's
mine either.
Well, maybe they shut it down tonight because it was up about an hour ago.
On Missouri, mine was either.
It's down. I'm checking it. It's down. I think they're trying to block information.
Then I'm not crazy. Thank you.
Well, what happens is, and it's hard to believe, but the IRS will tell you.
I guarantee they're listening to this.
Oh, I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they're not happy about it. Because we had one guy, they called him, last year, they did 300 of these forms. This year, they've done 3,000 a day for the last 6 days.
Can I share some information pertaining to what you're describing that another person did with another person's expertise and help?
Yeah.
Okay, Weiss Paris is a site.
Yes.
WeissParis.com is a site that gets you a revocation of election and assistance like against the tax people. I met with an individual that 3 times has done exactly what you're doing. He challenges them by sending for a court case. They send back, you got to pay the $60 fee. Well, there's a document that you send back that basically says, no, the documents stand as they are. Then a month or 5, 6 weeks later, you get a form in mail that says,
that you won because the court lacks jurisdiction. He's done this 3 separate years.
Right. But see, he does it for 3 years. I do it for 30 at a time, 20 at one time. That way you're done. I know.
This is David.
Yes, David.
Okay. Could you just repeat? Okay, you said you send the forms to you get the form from the tax court, the modified forms, throw out the first page, fill it out. What are you filling out or filling in?
Before you fill it out, go on Ed Branham. We'll send you a John Doe. We made one out, John Doe, so we can send
it.
That way, I don't have to go through it 100 times. All you have to do is ask
wonderful.
The court, we'll send it. It's John Doe. Now, I'm going to tell you this because I have problems. You're not John Doe. Your name goes where John Doe does. Okay. And we'll send it to you, and you just lay it there and fill in the blanks, just like it is, and mail it. We got it as simplified as we can. It will take you less than 10 minutes. Yeah. Less than 10 minutes, and then your problems with the IRS they're done.
Wonderful.
Do you mind just giving Ed Branham's email again for the John Doe form?
Yes, it's
oh my God.
REPTX777 at ACC.net.
Okay, TX as in Texas, correct?
Yes, REPTX 777.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you guys getting ready to wrap up?
Anybody needs the forms? Hi, this is Richard from Illinois. First time on it.
I don't know.
Did anybody looking for these forms?
Can I ask a question about a form?
Yes.
This is Mary in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
You're talking about a jurisdictional, the jurisdiction forms.
No.
Would Form 50, the IRS Form 56,
the petition
nope.
form,
the determination.
All right.
Okay, this is provided by the IRS. It's a notice of termination.
It's not about you. I told you that. It's not about you. They don't have it, so you can be a rabbit.
Just let me, just a moment, please. It's IRS Form 56 is a notice concerning fiduciary relationship is used to notify the IRS and state taxing authorities of either the initiation or termination of a fiduciary relationship between you and an artificial entity, such as a business, trust, corporation, or partnership. Such relationships are documented in 26 U.S.C. 6903, Notice of Fiduciary Relationships. This I downloaded from the IRS a few years back after I watched, during the Lois Lerner scandal, I watched the IRS Executive Director, Stephen Miller, testify under oath on national TV to the Ways and Means Committee. Trey Gowdy just turned the chair over to Congressman Xavier Becerra of California, and he testified taxes are voluntary. Okay. It was on the internet for 10 months. Now they've changed, and that was May 16 of 2013. They've changed it to May 17, 2013, and changed it to a different chairman. So it was because of that and what went on during that time, which is another TV show, that I ended up with these Form 56. I was recommended to do that. Along with the IRS provided the packet of information.
Now, can I just say this?
Surely, please.
Use anything you want. You want to use the Form 56, use it. I don't use it. I don't care. What I'm doing has never failed. I've done over 650 of the way I just told you, and I
believe you.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't know anything about 56. I'm not going to use it. So I'm telling you how to get a court order that says the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction. If you have another way to do it, that's great. Now we have two ways.
I don't. But we've been dealing with the court system in Pennsylvania since 2012.
we've never had a day in court. There are actually no court orders, but the extortion of money, we have no option because
I just gave you an option.
No, we don't have an option. Nobody is abiding by court orders or any laws. They put us up on foreclosure, private sale. We had never defaulted. So they're renegade, and there's I don't want to get into any more because of what is going on in Philadelphia and this whole area. So just thanks. I appreciate it. But
Brennan, please check his email. I just sent an email to you. It's about House Joint Resolution 1 passed by the Congress and the President this year, January 1st, 2018. Guts the IRS.
Yes, we looked at that. And that may end up being a better deal later. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this since 2008.
This is Bob.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. I just want to say thank you.
All right. So
You just disconnected. Bob.
Hello, this is Kevin. Can you hear me? This is Bob.
I have a
Can you hear me?
question.
Oh, hey, this is Bob. For some reason, I got muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I unfortunately, I'm driving while I'm listening to the call, and I had to help my mother, so I got on later than I wanted to. I missed the first part of the call, and I know that this is an extremely simplified process, and I love how elegant and clean and simple it is, because it attacks the one basic component that goes to exactly what Mary was just talking about in terms of, whether you use Form 56 and you start going through all that stuff or others, all you need, the fact that you've got a process that allows you to get a judicial officer to come forward and say that they have no jurisdiction over the IRS, and then you turn that and you compound that and say the IRS has no formal relationship or ability or jurisdiction over you. What I'm gonna beg your indulgence here, and absolutely shut me down. But I don't have the ability to take notes. I know this is really simple. This is one. If you could just go and take 3 minutes and do step by step. We send a letter to the U.S. District Court. I think the chief judge there is Bylin, I looked it up, for the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, and ask them, directly, do you have jurisdiction over the IRS? Now, do you only do it there?
They're a court of limited jurisdiction. Does that limited jurisdiction cover the IRS?
So you don't have. So, for example, I'm in Chicago, so I wouldn't have to send that letter to the Northern District of Illinois. I would actually send the order to the Northern District of Illinois if I ever had an issue where it was brought before them. Okay, all right, cool. And so I've got that stuff. I love it. It's simple. It's a one-page, one sentence letter that goes off to the chief judge. I get anal, so I recommend, at least certified, if not registered, just so that you've got that you can show to anybody. But then after that, all right, can you just walk through 1, 2, 3, 4, step by step, the process, how long it takes, and what to expect. How long so it takes that we have it for the recording? Well, how long it takes to go from point A where you've got, a 501 or other letter from the IRS, demanding money, to them being, put back into their place and being shown the absolute regarding jurisdiction.
Once you get your court order, they'll never take another dime from you, because every time they send you a letter, you don't say anything. You take the letter they sent you, put it in an envelope, take your court order, put it in an envelope, address it, and mail it back to the person that sent it. You're done. That's it. You're done.
Understood. So really, it's just a one-step process of getting the order from the district court.
tax court if you have a tax problem. The district court, the reason I'm telling you that is if the CID comes after you, they're going to take you to, I was indicted in 1991. They were going to give me 55 years in prison. They
Unmuted.
question everything. That's just the way my nature. They questioned me. They took 18 of us. 17 of them in a row went to jail. My last
Muted.
starts with a Z. They put me on the stand and they questioned me for 9.5 hours. When I was done, they said, get him out of here. I went home. I was the only one that went home because I don't trust them. I question everything. The reason they let me go home is they never proved jurisdiction, and they couldn't get the. They never got to the third base or second base at all because
they couldn't get there. Sure.
They asked, I had a court document that says they don't have jurisdiction, so they would ask me, what's your first name? Do you have jurisdiction to ask me that question? Yes. Well, I have a court. Then there's a 45-minute confrontation. Okay, what's your last name? Do you have jurisdiction to ask it? Yes. Well, here, I got a court order that says you don't. Well, here's one that says you don't. Here's one that says you don't. So I just took a pile of them. If they don't have jurisdiction, that's the authority. See? That's
jurisdiction is the baseline. I mean, there's jurisdiction. You're in the right place.
That's right.
Yeah.
So once I'm going to show you how to get a court order signed by a federal judge saying the IRS does not have jurisdiction.
And that's coming from the tax court.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm in a situation where I'm dealing with CP 501s, and it's for a number. It's for 15 years. Once you get this, you're going to go back to 1996 or however long you got to go back. The court order will say that the IRS does not have jurisdiction. 1996, 1997. Dwayne Williams, the guy that started this out, he went back 27 years. Okay, cool.
They don't have, so you pick how far back you want to go. When you get your court document, they don't have jurisdiction. What are they going to do? They're going to say, oops. That's what happened so far, and I've done close to 600 or 700 of these.
All right, and so step one is letter to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. Step two is if you're dealing with the IRS, file at the tax court. Don't pay the fee, right? And they'll process it anyway and give you an order. Yep. Okay. All right. And when you send in, when you file the tax court petition, which is just that petition package that's on the U.S. Tax Court or USTaxCourt.gov website,
but it has to be filled out right.
Right, the way that your John Doe forms.
Yeah.
You just replace the John Doe with your information.
Yes.
All right, and you're not choosing when it's asking you what court do you want to have a trial in. You're not checking off any box.
You pick the one that's closest to your house.
Okay. I saw a form in the package, in the John Doe package, and it doesn't have any box checked.
Well, that's because it didn't come through on the email. It may not have come through on the email. So if there's no checks on them, call and check with us. We'll tell you how to check. Sometimes the email, the checks, it doesn't come through.
Okay.
I have a question.
I have a question. I've been waiting. I understand there are two corporations, IRS and also Internal Revenue Service. Do you have to make the distinction that there are two?
It don't make no difference. That has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is taking your money and you want it back. You don't care which one gives it back. You want it back. So you just address the tax court. The tax court will do what it does, and I'm telling you, the tax court will shut them down.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. This is Kevin Williams.
What's after that other lady?
What happened?
I think that I was after the other lady that just spoke. Can I ask?
Kevin? Yes, Kevin. We'll get back to you. Just give her. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So my question is, does this help us when they've taken money from us from accounts and we've gone to the banker and said, listen, nobody is suing us. You can't just intercept this. She said, well, I was told by them to empty your account, so I emptied it. Does this help us in any way with all that?
Okay, now that they don't have jurisdiction, you can sue the bank. The bank has deep pockets. You sue the bank. They didn't have jurisdiction. They should have done their due diligence. It's not about the taxes anymore. It's about a court. That you have a court order. You're going to tell the bank to put the money back if they don't sue the bank for contempt of court. Let them worry about it. See, now it's about contempt of court. They took your money and they didn't have jurisdiction to do it. So will it help you? Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, Terry, this is Kevin again.
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, that's okay. Terry, what's the rationale as to why we don't need to pay the $60?
You can't pay the $60 because there's two sides of the tax court. One side's the administration side, one side is the legal side. If you pay the $60, they're going to say that you're part of the federal government. They're going to say that Title 26 has everything to do with you. They can interpret it any way they want to do.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us the rationale. So now that helps us to know why we don't do that. Great. Good. Thank you.
But what that does, that puts you on the administration side. Administration side, that's all they are. But this puts you on the collection side or the legal side by not paying it. You don't have to pay for judgment. They don't get it.
Thank you.
Gary? Yes? Yes?
I had a call today, and they were talking. They got a final paper from the court, lack of jurisdiction, but there was 4 or 5 pages, and they had a bunch of docket numbers on his 4 or 5 pages, and they were people that already went through the process, and they're saying these people did the same thing this fellow's trying to do. Have you heard about that?
I have not. I'd like to see it. If you can email it to me, I'd like to look at it, and then I can draw a conclusion on it.
I'll try to get an email tomorrow.
Thank you. Okay, does anybody else have a question?
Yes, I do. This is June in Chicago.
All right.
I hear. Okay. I heard people the gentleman stated that he was they had taken out his Social Security out of his from his he got his Social Security payment reinstated, and he also got his pension reinstated.
And he got his military reinstated. Yes.
And he got his military. My question is what what steps would he go to get the back that they took out that was illegal?
That's a different step. I'm working on that now. I've got several test cases out. They called me today. So there's a way to do it. They have it set up. Do you remember history of 40 acres and a mule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you follow that procedure. You put in a claim, and they will pay you. But it has to be done.
40 acres and a mule.
Our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians.
No, beautiful. Okay, but you're stating that it's something that you're putting together to help people in terms of that as well?
I'm working on that now, yes. If you have an idea, just do it. I mean, you got your letters to do it. Write a letter to them and say, hey, I want my money back. You didn't have it, just take it. See what they do.
Okay.
You know, because, but I'm working on it because I found all the forms, and I got all the forms put together, and I got a package put together that I sent off to them. They took it. They called me today. As a matter of fact, they called me today on it.
Okay, and then does that also go for the, like how the IRS will, when you file for the next year, they keep that return for past taxes. You can get that back as well.
I'm assuming. I mean, you're going to have a court order that says the IRS does not have jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
Right. So that's why I'm just asking. Can you go for those back taxes that they took
you can do,
as well?
You can do whatever you want. You know, I'm not an attorney, so I can't give you advice. But with
okay.
There's not. You know, once you get this court order, if you have a court order, you can do whatever you want to it.
Okay, thank you.
Could you do it for a dead father's estate?
If they didn't have jurisdiction, they didn't have jurisdiction.
Interesting. Thanks.
Terry back from Alabama with a question.
Okay, Mr. Sir from Alabama, go ahead.
So someone asked earlier in regards to, she didn't say it, but it was in regards to the title enforcement. I'm actually showing up in court tomorrow for one of those where they're trying to make me pay for a trash service on for a house where I sold it and on installments. But is there a way that we can use the jurisdictional some of your jurisdictional talent here to overcome those?
Yes. So you're late into the game. If you have written your letter to the court and got that they didn't have it, that would be big time. Are you going in front of an IRS agent?
No, it has. Unfortunately, it has absolutely nothing to do with the IRS. It's
code enforcement.
Okay. That's not my expertise. That's not my.
That's what I was asking.
That's not my expertise. I'm sorry about that. That's not my.
That's okay. I was asking just to see if you had something to help along those lines, because the lady that mentioned it earlier, it seemed like she was addressing that also. But
right. Like I said, that's not my expertise. I have something I put together for it, but I can't get you prepared. I can't get you prepared by tomorrow.
That's okay. I expect tomorrow to get a continuance because the judge he falsified the record, and I'll be able to demonstrate that. I've already created an affidavit.
Good. You get a hold of Ed, and I'll send you what I've got put together. There. I'll try to help you where I can.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
One more thing came up. When you write your letter, are you asking them for a certain period of time or in general, or because like the reason I ask you this is I had a business for 30 years. Some years we did really well, and the business income, quote unquote, flowed down to me personally. My husband and I paid a lot of money to them. Do we want to specify some years?
Okay, now, was your business incorporated?
Yes.
Okay, then you'll have to read. I'm not a corporate attorney. See, when you incorporate the corporation, it's no longer about the IRS. It's about what was in the corporate papers. Did the corporation say you had to file? Did the corporation say you had to pay? Did the corporation say you wouldn't argue? It's all that I don't know. So.
Well, I was an employee. I was an employee, a W-2 employee of that corporation.
Okay. So the corporation has something to do with you, correct?
True.
Okay, then what you would do is you get a court order saying they didn't have jurisdiction, and you want to know why they took your money. So then,
okay.
See, again, you can once you get yours, you have to make it work for what you're doing.
Okay.
Write a letter.
Okay.
right. And so, will it work? It should. It should.
Okay, my concern is we all volunteered because we all thought that's what we had to do. But that doesn't matter. Now we've learned and woke up, and we should be able to go back forth with, and claim what was ours.
Clay, let me explain it to you this way. Again, don't be offended by this, okay? If you're dating somebody and he grabs you inappropriately and you said no, what does that mean?
No, right.
No, okay. Now, you said it no means no. Now, you get married to that guy. It works out well, and you get married to him. When you catch him in the neighbor's room, what are you going to say?
I'm going to have a lot to say.
Wait a minute. You said no. No means no. So he marries you. In order for that to work, he has to go next door. So no don't mean no. No means not right now. That's the question you're asking me. So, see, you didn't know then. See?
Oh.
Okay, and so what I'm trying to say is we have to think outside the box. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
See, because okay, for an example, do you know what GOLF is? It's golf. What is golf? All right, tell me what golf is.
Well, where I'm from, there's 120 golf courses, so it's just hitting a ball around the course and being overcharged to play the game.
No, gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. No, you go in there and read it. So, do ladies play golf?
Yes.
No, they don't. They're forbidden. So what are they? See? You're telling me they're ladies. They can't be. They're forbidden. That's what see? This is what they do. We think one thing. They're throwing it at us, so we've accepted it. See, golf is gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. Came out in England, the guys would go down and drink the cognac, smoke the cigars, and hit a little ball around. They didn't want their wives around. So that's why they called it ladies forbidden. So ladies cannot play golf. They can't. They're forbidden. So what are See, I'm telling you what I see. That's what it says on the internet. You're saying they do play. That's how they get it. Because we let them tell us what words mean. It's all about that.
Gotcha.
That's what.
Gotcha.
Okay, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to show you, once you get your document from the court, you're not going to believe what it will do. Okay. It's going to do whatever you want it to do.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you. Well, Ed, I believe that's going to do it.
That sounds about like it. We had
Can I get the email address?
This is Sam on Missouri.
What I wanted to remind everybody is when you got that document from that court, it'd be the first time in your life that you could file contempt of court against anybody.
Yep.
Can you repeat the law one more time?
Okay, here's the email address. REP TX 777 at att.net.
Okay. And can you repeat what the law is? Is it 32 USC or 26 USC?
31 USC 321 D2. And it will say income tax defined, and it will define it for you right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I could tell you what it is, but if I told you, you're going to say you're full of crap. So you can just go look at it and read it, then you'll understand.
This is Mary from Pennsylvania again. Could I ask a quick question?
Real quick.
Thank you. When you apply for this, when you send in the letter, you have to first establish
What letter?
your state? When you send in the letter to the U.S. District Court to get the jurisdictional court order.
Yep.
Do you have to first, before you do that, have established your national status, your state?
You see, I told you, it's not about you. No.
Okay.
It's up to the court.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood it.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yes. See, a Toyota is almost a Lexus, but it's not a Lexus. So
that's right. Close but no cigar.
And that's what you're saying. See, that's what you're saying.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm clear on this. I don't want to screw up on any of it. So.
You can't screw up on it. It's too simple. Just write a letter to them, ask them if they have jurisdiction over the IRS. That's all you have to ask. They'll tell you. If they don't, just keep squeezing them until they do.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I sure hope that this works with other things too, or that we'll have that remedy down the road for other stuff.
You'll have it.
Great.
You'll have it.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen. Appreciate all your time and your hard work.
No problem. Thank you.
Good night. God bless.
Our next call will be February the 13th. So we're going to say good night to all of you.
Good night, Ed.
Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you very much. This session is no longer being recorded.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.